It's the Rooster Show!
Hello, and thank you for choosing the Rooster Show. This is Rooster Jones, your best friend in the world. It's true. You never do that. But there's more rock and less cock here, and a whole lot of love. So today we have special guests, Headnoise, Edie, and Robert. Robert's a bassist and her husband, and Edie is his wife. And hey, there they are.
We made it.
We made it.
You did.
Woo. That was rough.
I thought you were out hunting or something, you know?
No, I mean, I have my pistol with me, but it's only because there's like mountain lions and stuff.
Oh, that's it. Just mountain lions, no big deal.
Cougars, mountain lions. Yeah. I've never seen a bear. No bears. Yeah.
Yeah, buffalo?
No buffalo out here. That's like Plains Indians.
Ah, that's awesome. Oh, I'm Cheyenne, and my wife is Cherokee.
Okay,
so, yeah, we're Indian.
There you go.
Yeah, very cool, man. So how?
Yeah.
Well, welcome. Good to see you both. Oh, that's awesome.
And Lady, more? No, you good?
I'm good.
Yeah.
So if I had the Bluetooth thing, it would probably be louder. But what do you do? So Edie's hard of hearing, so I might have to kind of repeat some of the questions or something to her. So
it's all right. You're fine. You're fine. So nice having you. So man, you guys been around since 1994, huh?
Yeah, since 1994.
Mm-hmm.
Got to play with TSOL and a bunch of other bands that are awesome, like Agent Orange. And you guys are from Orange County, right?
No, we're from Los Angeles County, from LA.
Oh, Los Angeles. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. I used to go clubbing out there all the time.
Love it. Did you?
Yeah. Stigmata, Helter Skelter. Perversion, Florentine Gardens, Cinematic, Club 1980s, a bunch of places. Yeah, I was a major goth rocker out there. Back in the day. Yeah,
when we were young, we would go to try to pick up girls, but they didn't like us. They didn't really like punk rock much.
No.
Giant misnomer. The girls didn't like us.
That's so true.
We were like, Stardust Ballroom, Fender's Ballroom, Olympic Auditorium, all that. Cuckoo's Nest, blah blah blah.
Hey, that's awesome. You guys have an amazing little background of people that you worked with. 7 Seconds too. Wow, that's amazing. That's actually one of my favorite bands in 7 Seconds. So tell me,
Yeah.
how was the band formed? How did you guys come about each other? And I, yeah, tell me a little about your history, if you don't mind.
Well, actually, I was in a different band. I was singing for a band called God Sent Humans.
Ah,
And,
okay.
they were on like a Vineyard, whatever. Yeah, Vineyard Church label when I joined them. And so they were kind of like thrash, metal, punk, kind of, I guess. And just like 100% ministry. Awesome guys, just amazing. Taught us everything, really professionals. But I said, I want to play more punk. And they said, well, then start your own band. And which I didn't want to do that because I was, very comfortable and safe under the wings of these professional evangelist musicians. Yeah, I mean, they were like that good. I think the drummer he used to work for Sony. All these people were White Snake, White this, whatever. They were all, big time rockers.
Yeah.
That made a ministry band. Anyway, so I was kind of nervous about that, but at the same time, there were a ton of bands around that were just like some of the older bands, like Crucified and Still Hope and One Bad Pig, and a lot of those bands, they were not as active, maybe, I don't know, but there just weren't very. But then all the new bands that were coming out were good, but they'd never talked about Jesus.
Yes.
And we were just like, well, what's that? Like, if I want to hear your version, I mean, because I grew up in the punk scene, if I want to hear the band that you're copying, I'll just go see the band because it's not going to be different,
exactly.
And they're better. So I'll just go, but so I was like, man, why aren't they giving the kids anything to chew on? Why aren't they giving, the truth of the gospel? So we thought, what we could do? Let's we'll start this band and we'll just talk about Jesus, just like kind of like we did in the other band that I was in.
Yeah.
And so we prayed about it, and we got some folks together that wanted to play. Edie wasn't our original singer. Our original singer was our original guitar player. He used to actually play with the Jam. And yeah. And what's that? Yeah, a long time ago. So but still, I mean, he's incredible, but he was like mic shy.
Oh.
So we're like, and I knew Edie could sing, and she became a punk rocker because she met me in probably 86, 87.
Yeah, 86, 80, yeah.
Somewhere like that. And
that's
so
when I received Christ. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
86, 87 around there.
Yeah, I wasn't saved. I didn't know that.
Oh, I said, no, that's when I received Christ in about 86. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I knew Edie could sing, but just because you can sing doesn't mean anything really, other than you can sing. But it doesn't mean that you should sing in a band, and it doesn't mean that you can sing punk, because I hear female singers out there and they're great, but they're just terrible punk singers. Like, they should stick to something else. It's just not good.
Yeah,
but a great voice. They should sing something else.
Like
pop.
singing.
Yeah, like sing-songy, singing voice. Yeah. So we said, Edie, you should try, and she was great. Just like, wow. And then it became kind of what do you call that? Like a kind of a deal. I don't know, like a thing. Oh, you got a female singer.
Oh.
Because there wasn't very many.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like X-Ray Specs or
there really wasn't many. Yeah.
There wasn't a whole, like in a handful, you got Susie, you got this,
L7, man. I still listen to L7. They're still sick. I love them.
Yeah. I didn't listen to them much, but I knew they were around. So, it was kind of a deal. And then that, in many ways, that opened the door for us to play a lot of shows and stuff like that we would normally never ever play. And actually, funny thing, there was a time when we had more girls in the band than guys. So,
oh, that's awesome.
and then our drummer, she was amazing. And then we had a keyboardist.
Yeah, for a little bit.
Yeah. So it was just me and the guitar player, and we were kind of on the outs a bit. So it was called a girl band. Then it was a girl band, and we were just kind of like, and then we play those like, what did they call those, like feminist marches things? They'd be like, down with the guys, and then we just be like hiding. But we like anywhere. We play mitzvahs. We play anything. We don't care. We don't care.
That's right.
It doesn't matter. Not that we've ever played, but we played plenty of birthday backyard parties for, like one person and a goat or something. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's how, yeah. Sorry, I got distracted. So that's how we got started playing. And actually, our original drummer was the bass player from Javelina Rail Company.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So his name was Orlando Greenhill. And so he was our original drummer, and that's where we started, in his garage in Long Beach. And so yeah, we were jamming there. And yeah, that was we were not good, not very good at all.
Do you feel that you guys have the same mission as you started off with to right now?
Yep. Nothing's changed. It's all the same. I mean, keep it simple, stupid, preach the gospel, don't deviate. Yes, I mean, I grew up as an anarchist, but obviously I'm not. But my political views are my own, because God trumps all. And even though there's a lot of great, causes, doesn't mean it's God's cause. And the greatest cause is of sharing the good news of the gospel, because that's going to last forever. Other than that, I mean, I can chit chat with anybody. I grew. My dad's a 1%er biker. I grew up riding Harleys. I have Harleys.
Yep.
I mean, I could talk about anything, but that, Jesus is like, that's the good stuff right there.
That's right. That is the good stuff.
We've stopped playing at times. There's been times when we've taken breaks. Like when we had our youngest son, who's now 18, we were like, hey, we got to raise this kid, not on tour, not on the road. So we took a good 5-year break or something. And then even when we moved back here to Los Angeles from Chicago, we were like, we're done. We're done. We're doubly done. And my best friend, his wife, she'd been just so sick. And she was finally like on her deathbed. And she's like, hey, you guys got to promise me you'll play one more show, like an outreach. What are you going to say?
Yeah.
No. So we're
sorry, not doing it, woman.
Yeah. So we're like, yeah. Of course. But then I sort of like half-heartedly in my heart said like, hey, God, I'll ask around. People say no. There you go. Okay.
Yep.
So before I could even ask anybody, we went to some show. Who did we go see? I think it was at the 5-Star Bar. Who was playing there? Oh no, what's her name? Was it Alex's bar?
I don't know who we went to see.
I don't know who went to go see. Kron. It doesn't matter. The point is, one of the guitar players. I was gonna say no, it wasn't Bad Brains. But anyway, a guitar player that was in another band called the Infirmities. He was like, "Hey man, you guys are Headnoise. I love you guys. If you need a guitar player, let me know." And I was like, all right, yeah, we do. We might play this show. And I explained it to him. And then when we went to the 5-Star Bar, and the band that was playing was what's her name's band? Old School. She's the one that sings the Okie Dogs. What is it? Tammy's band. Why can't I think of it? They're like first generation punk, 77 punk. I don't know. She'll probably kick me for not remembering. It doesn't matter. My memory shot.
We'll edit this part out.
So her drummer, I actually grew up with in high school. And he was like, hey, man, I love your band. And I'm like, dude, you guys know we're Christians, right? And he's like, yeah, but it's cool. I'd love to play with you. So then we got a band. We're like, oh, great. Now we actually got to do this thing. By the way, we never did that outreach. But the band reformed because we had a ton of other people. Hey, you guys want to play? But none of them were Christian venues. I don't even know if I should say. But I would say the majority, I've been approached by pastors of some large denominations that have had an Addicts concert, but came to me and said, hey, our larger denominations not cool with what you guys are doing. And I'm like, what are we doing? And they go, you guys only play bars, you play clubs, you're friends with, the Christian Death guys, these guys and that guys, and that's you can't be doing that. The Bible's, and I'm like, look, I really don't care, dude. Like,
Jesus went to the sick, didn't he? Didn't he?
Bro, I'm not trying to challenge him. I say I don't care, but you're exactly what you're gonna, right? Like, how sick is sick?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, kind of sick, really sick. Like, if you're not gonna go there, then who's gonna go there? And we're not partying. We're just going there and loving on these people and trying to build relationships and share Jesus when it naturally arises in the course of a conversation.
Of course.
And it's great. So we've been kind of, I want to say, like, I don't want to be dramatic, like blackballed, but yeah, we don't even play. We don't get asked and nothing. So we're like, whatever. So we just play whatever shows, clubs, bars that we know of. And
exactly.
It's not like a commentary on like the church at large. It's just, it's just probably some people in leadership that they just don't like that. Or maybe they got rubbed the wrong way or I don't know. I don't know how
I
they
think
interpret
there's
things.
too that scene sort of disappeared for a while too. But
right.
Christian I think
music
there
scene.
are some things starting to stir. So
Yeah. Like even this like HC Fest thing that's coming up in April here very shortly. Next week. What in the world?
Ooh.
Right? Yeah, like even that's kind of like what I sat and thought about, and I thought, gosh, has it been like 30 years?
Yeah.
So now everyone's like grown up, and now they have like this taste for nostalgia. I think, I don't know what it is. Maybe, God, I'm sure God has this bigger picture and this great grand plan. But I people want this nostalgia, and I don't go to other Christian festivals. And I'm not even sure that we would go if we were asked. Well, we probably would if we could afford it. It doesn't matter. Like I said, we'll play anywhere. But there's a lot of karaoke going on, and there's a lot of I don't know if I should talk about this because it's kind of irritating that I see a lot of bands spending more time talking about why they don't have to talk about God than just either keeping their mouth shut or talk about God. But they want to put out like 10-page dissertation as to why they no longer believe in the lyrics they originally wrote, but if it means something to you, it's like, dude, just start another band. Don't ride on on the past. Oh, if you don't believe it anymore, just stop. It kind of almost like you have less integrity than the bands that are singing, that are like rejoicing and going to hell or partying. They're still doing it. Like, they have integrity. You obviously don't, and I'm not naming names. I'm just saying, what I'm talking about.
The only thing that I was going to say is that there was a label in Seattle, I think it is. Well, Tooth and Nail Records. Okay. Yeah. I love the guys. They put out some bands that don't really sometimes talk about Christ is what I noticed. There's a couple bands that like, Huntingtons. I like the Huntingtons. I always love their music, and they sound like the Ramones, and all that. But like you said, if you're going to sound like the Ramones, might as well go watch the Ramones. Marky Ramone's still playing.
Even after saying all that, everybody sort of has their place, and I don't want to make like a fracture, a compound. I don't want to make a compound by talking trash. I'm just saying, like, if someone listens to this,
I still listen to Huntingtons. I love them.
But everybody has their place in the scene, and who knows how God's used every one of those bands to draw people into Himself. I'm not like judge, jury of any of that stuff. I just know what I'm supposed to do. I get personally irked when people spend more time, on the stage saying, this is why I don't have to talk about God. This is why I fell out of love with God. It's like, dude, then why are you playing to Christians? Just stop. Either keep your mouth shut or just stop. It makes you look silly. It's like the bands that were like hardcore Christians, and now they've reformed a band and they're out there like just getting wasted. And everybody knows that you're not fooling anybody, and I know I'm probably talking a lot, but I played in another band called Decry. Have you ever heard of them?
No, I have not.
So
deprived?
Decry.
Oh, no. Deprived
Okay.
I have, but not no.
Decry was an early 80s band. They toured with like the Circle Jerks, Open for Discharge, a lot of stuff like that. So like I played with those guys, as a believer, and we played all the time, and there was no weirdness at all. And they're like, dude, you can say whatever you want. You can, do whatever you want to do. It's fine. There was no strangers, and there was no ambiguity about what they believe. They're all sober guys. So they were like NAAA guys, so it was cool. It was cool being, with those guys, but there was no pretense, and that kind of stuff. And I'm probably getting off subject, but anyway, I'm questions.
Yeah. So, okay. So now you have a new album, I heard, right? New album out?
Getting a drink.
Oh, okay. Can you see that the thing?
What?
The CD.
Oh.
So what we did is this is the CD version. That's the cover of the new album. And I did the back. It's like, this thing is probably like 3 feet by 4 feet. This whole collage took me about 6 months to make. I love doing.
Wow.
I love doing the
that's beautiful.
Yeah. So it's
Good job.
We started that album a few years ago, more than a few, and we started it with our original drummer, or the drummer that was playing with us, Gilbert. And we did 8 songs. And then when we gave it to the record company, they were like, you know what? We need 4 more. And we're like, what the heck? And then our drummer got too sick, and eventually he passed away. And so I've been begging our middle son to play drums with us. And he's like, what do they call those people? They can play everything. There's
Prodigy.
Music.
Prodigy,
right. So drums was not even his favorite instrument. I think it might be guitar or piano or something like that. But he finds that, okay, people don't play with your parents, man. They need you. So he finished the album with us, played 4 more songs. So he finished that up, and then COVID. So it sat for a while, sat for a couple years.
Since COVID.
Yeah. And so then finally we got it back, and we told the record company, look, if you're not putting it out, we're just going to do it. They said, I said, yeah, okay, never mind. So it'll be here next month. Yeah. The vinyl, that is.
Oh, that's sweet. I'm a CD man. I like vinyls too, but I have a CD player in my car, so I love to jam out my CDs.
Yeah.
Love it.
And I don't think there's any rule about that. Like, we've done albums with a tape, like 2-inch tape,
Yeah.
And I don't know. I like the tape, but I guess it just depends on what you're doing. I don't know. We've even recorded in a warehouse. We got some wild idea. It wasn't our idea. It was Sid's probably. I don't know whose idea, but to do a live album in Chicago. And we borrowed the gear from the engineer that did Nirvana. So he lent us a bunch of gear to record live. And it was good. It was just different. I mean, I guess every album's different. I noticed you did an interview with Randy Rose.
Yes, I did. Yes.
We love Randy. He's so rad. I love that brother. And his music is, he's just out of control. He's so good. We're going to record with him next. Oh, yeah, that guy's a rock.
Him and his brother, both. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't so much into the man stuff, I like it. I did like it. There are some albums I really enjoyed, but the Rose, I just loved it. I was a big Misfits fan growing up, and then I just kind of had enough of Danzig, of Glenn, and so I really enjoyed Rose because it was kind of that Black Sabbath-y, Danzig-y, I don't know,
Yeah,
the
yeah, it
Door or
was.
something.
Yeah, it definitely was. Demons. That was such a good song.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, so that's what I grew up, man, with. Actually, one of my first vinyls was Man at the World's first album. It was at a Christian festival in San Bernardino, and it was pretty cool. So yeah, it was
That's
a
cool.
3-day festival. Got to see Michael W. Smith and a whole bunch of other contemporary artists, but that's all right. It was no punk
Well,
rock there, but I did get to meet a few bands.
did you?
Blood Good was there, and a bunch of others. But that was awesome. So
I remember. Yeah.
yeah, this is amazing talking to you about this because when you're talking about all these secular bands that you're involved with, like now Nirvana too, and it's like amazing because here we have a Christian band that's so involved with a lot of the secular bands, intermingled, I should say, which is great because you need to bring the light into the darkness, So I think that's great. I'm no beef with that. I think it's awesome because
Well,
it's not
yeah.
necessarily accepted as it is. Being a Christian, I mean, we get ridiculed as it is. Just being a Christian, being a believer. But here you are. I mean, that's cool, man. I'm happy for you guys.
We didn't actually do anything to get favor with these bands other than just trying to be a decent witness. Totally the Lord, 100%.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I can't even tell, because we were playing all kinds of shows. We played with like Cron Gin and this and that, play all kinds of shows. Okay, and then I think we were playing with the Redolescents and Rick Agnew. Do you know who Rick Agnew is?
The name sounds very familiar.
So Rick was a guitar player for Christian Death, original Social Distortion.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah,
Adolescent. I mean,
yeah,
dude is famous. He's like the godfather of punk rock, probably at least in Fullerton or Orange County. I don't know. Anyway, everybody knows who Rick Agnew and
yeah.
Okay. So anyway, so I met Rick and we just chit-chatted and talk about everything except for punk, just family and life, man. And we hit it off and just got to know him and his wife, Jatan. Jatan was one of the original singers with Christian Death, I think with Roz.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, Eva O, friend of ours, she was married to Roz, I think.
Mm-hmm.
She was also, I think she was even before Jatan in Christian Death. Anyway, so we just kind of enjoyed their company, and over time we just hang out, became friends, and then once we were playing more and more at bars and clubs over LA, Orange County, whatever, people started to Google and whatever, and then they're like, wait, these people are Christians. So then it blew up, on the social media, like these people are Christians. What the hell, we get these people are there. They're, in all the names that you would call a Christian, bigoted, like closed mind, whatever. So then out of that, Rick Agnew comes in and he says, hey, I love Headnoise. Robert and Edie are my friends. I love them. And if you got a problem with them, you got a problem with me.
Wow.
There it goes. Went away.
So funny is
I
love Christian Death. Christian Death, man, they're good, man. Actually, should be having them on in a couple months. I've been talking with them. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. You know what? When all that stuff was happening in the 80s, I didn't get it. I mean, I thought those people, they look cool, but as a, punk rocker, I didn't get it. I was just like, look, they called it death rock. We didn't call it God. It was death rock.
It's death rock. Yeah.
And I was just why, if you're so fascinated with death, why don't you just die? That was what I would thought back then, in 82, 83. I didn't know what to think about this stuff. But yeah, so we love Rick, and we've got a lot of friends, a lot of friends in the scene, and we enjoy their company, and they're beautiful people, and they've got families and kids and grandkids, and they want what most people want. A lot of them just never really had anyone sit down and be honest with them and love on them and be there for them and tell them about Jesus in the natural course of a conversation, and share the love of the Lord with them. And I can say that, at least from my perspective, because I've seen Christian bands that are afraid. They're actually like afraid of them or something. But since, we grew up, I grew up in the scene in the 80s, mostly in Hollywood, LA. I already knew these people. I was on the other side of the fence already. So I already knew these people. So nobody scares me about that kind of stuff. Even when they threaten to kill us, because remember when the skin is, they slash our tires, break our windows, whatever, big deal. Yeah, that's nothing.
So you have been harassed like that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, of course.
Wow.
If you're going to stand up, if you're going to, by the way, this is a trash can. We couldn't find anything to set the thing on.
So right. I love it.
Nope.
It adds texture to the camera.
Yeah, Rooster's sitting on a trash can. But how appropriate. So, yeah, if you're going to talk about Jesus, like honestly, like really say, hey, put it on the line and just risk it, and say, hey man, this is who I am, this is where I came from, and this is the truth, like the whole truth, not the motivational speaker truth, but the whole truth. You're going to get it, man. You're going to get it, and we've gotten it. We played in Vegas, and as soon as we finished, the promoter came up and he was like, hey, Headnoise, blah blah blah, and then he like puts his hand over the mic and he curses me out. Get out of here! And I was just like, whoa,
wow.
But he was just like, and I was like, oh. So I left. Instead of going backstage, I went like kind of through the crowd out to the front. I figured, I'll just get the van. As soon as I walk out, I was surrounded, and these guys were gonna work me. And I'm not that big, but I'm not a slouch. I can hold my own. And I'm figuring there's no way. These guys are going to just throttle me. And my two friends who I had brought, my friend Rob, artist in Hollywood, and then Robert Ware, these are both big dudes, bouncers. They can walk into the crowd, little old me, and they walk me right out. But they would have just,
annihilated.
We've been threatening all the time. We've had tires slashed, windows broken, gear stolen, blah blah blah. But none of it is like life threatening, right?
Yeah,
it
was pretty cool. I had a goth rock band in California when I lived in Oceanside, and these both of the guys that were in my band, it was like a goth folk band. We had no drummer. It was me on guitar. There was a bassist and then a lead singer. And we actually did a good handful of little sets, for parties and stuff like that. And they would always ask me to pray before we did our sets. Yeah, it was really crazy. Or before we do band practice. And guess what? They were Wiccans. Yeah. Witches and Wiccans and all that. And, they're like, hey, you have a nice aura about you, man. Go ahead and say a prayer for us, please, for our band practice. I'm like, okay, let's do it.
They're attracted to,
like a moth to a flame. You know what I mean?
Look, I'll tell you a story, a quick story. We played at we were invited to play at this anarchist collective. I don't know, Michigan, somewhere north of Chicago, and it's in a basement. And it's one of those basements where they throw bottles at you and there's broken glass everywhere. And, it's like really, punk, whatever. Anyway, so we set up, we play. And then as soon as we're done playing, somehow they just figured, these people are Christians. So the collective got together and they're just like, man, we got to have a meeting. So the concert stopped, everything stopped. All the leaders got together and they had this meeting and they couldn't figure out what to do because nothing like that had ever happened to them before. They'd never had Christians in their collective, much less a band. Like, that's like big to them. You're like supporting, you're like representing them. So they had this big meeting and they said, man, we don't know what to do because we like you guys. Like we connect with you, man. We really like you guys. Man, we love the music. We don't know what to do. So they had this meeting and they figured out this. This is what they figured out, Rooster. They said, well, what we're going to do is we're just going to say that you guys represent something we don't know. Like, let's just say it's a God. It could be anything, but we're going to put it out there. Okay. And you guys are in that unknown thing that we don't know about. So we're not going to say it's anything. We're just going to say it's unknown. So you guys represent the unknown God or the unknown thing. And that's cool. No. So you're welcome. We're just like, however you want to frame it, man, that's fine, with us. Don't take still. But that stuff's happened.
That's crazy.
It's just a funny thing. Like your Wiccan friends, the funny things that people do because they really do want to know Jesus. They really do have that God-shaped.
Their hunger inside. They have a hunger that they're looking for something.
They do, and they want it, man. And they don't know what to do about it, And and there's a lot of pressure, a lot of peer pressure, and that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
I know how it goes. I mean, I was there. I was at Fender's Ballroom when this dude comes up and he goes, "Hey, you want one of these?" And it was like a little track. And man, I slapped it out of his hand. I think we were there to see Agnostic Front and a bunch of bands. But anyway, no, it was Dayglow Abortions and MDC. So and I
MDC.
Yeah, and my buddy just grabs his Christian and starts choking him on a bus bench right in front of Fender's Ballroom there in Long Beach and 7th Street. And then he starts punching him. And there's a crowd of punks around and everyone's screaming, "Kill him, kill him, kill him." And I'm like, and then I realized, oh, wait a second. If he kills him, we'll probably go to jail. And the most importantly, we'll miss the show. So I told my buddy, who was just big skinhead guy, skinhead Steve. He passed away already. Steve did. He just couldn't handle the work. But
rest in peace, brother.
Right. And the guy jumps up and he goes, "Blessed are those that persecute for the sake of the gospel." And I was just like, what a freak. And then the first time I go to the new church that Edie and I are, that now I'm the pastor at, that Edie and I went to, Edie found, that guy was there. The dude that we tried to kill. His name was Frank Pompa. And he was there and he goes, "I knew you were going to get saved, man." That was the thing. And that's when you get into the hand of God, right? You begin to see the divine providence of Almighty.
So you are an actual pastor of a church?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. What's the name of the church?
It's called the True Vine Christian Fellowship in
the one that's online.
Yeah, I'm not the head pastor or the whatever they call that.
Yeah, you're not.
Yeah, like assistant guy,
Okay.
I pick up the cleaning from the dry cleaners. I make the coffee. We're not very big. We're just a tiny little church that just started as a bunch of punk rockers. They were originally called Out of Step Ministries. They used to book all the shows with the Crucified and everybody else, and Nobody Special. Pastor Biker James. He was the bass player for the Gods and Humans, who I eventually sang for. But I'm a pastor. I'm a ordained pastor there.
That's awesome.
Whatever that means.
Good for you. Good for you. That just means you have more responsibilities.
Yeah, I avoided that for many years because I don't think a name is. I mean, I knew pastors that were just like knuckleheads, man, and that's like if you're serious about that, it's a big deal. And I wouldn't even like the Bible talks about pastors and teachers and preachers. I would probably put myself in more of a teacher category than I would a preacher or evangelist or
Yeah,
pastor.
I get you.
I know pastor. They visit people in the hospital. They'll hold your hand when you're sick. You know, they come by and bring you food. I would aspire to do those things, but yeah, I don't do that stuff. You know,
That's right.
I should.
I mean, you do it a little differently, though.
You know me, right? You know me. If you say, "Hey, Robert, we want you to do this," then you know what you're getting into. Like, this is me, man. It's all out there. I'm not asking.
Well, that's cool, man. Our time is actually running low, brother.
Oh,
we have. Yeah, you did, like you said, you talk a lot, but that's all right.
Yeah, I do.
I love it. I love to hear you speak. It's awesome, man. What was that?
Is there anything that was important that you need to know, that you would like to know about?
I mean, honestly, I don't really have any time now. We have less than a minute. But I just hope. Are you guys okay? First of all, you have your new album coming out. Do you plan on doing any shows for that new album? And
yeah, we have
find your music
coming out here on April 5th. Then we're playing on the 19th, which is like a skate park thing.
Yeah.
Then we do an outreach here on Navajo Nation in June 7th that we're doing. Mm-hmm. And then there's a sprinkling of other shows that we're going to do to support the album. And if someone wants it, they could contact me. We'll send it to you. If you want the CD, we will send it to you for free. Just send us like a self-addressed something for the postage so that we can, and if you want to make a donation, the donation is going to go to help our old guitar player, Sid. He's in dire straits. And
all right.
And I don't want to get in details, but if you want to send, it's going to go straight to him. But if you want it, you got to